So I imagine they were just set out to do an impossible task, but I'm still mad. Still mad about it.
Those bastards. All right, any other games you guys want to name? Rip-offs?
Yeah, go ahead. Street Fighter 5.
Oh, but that did come out, though. But
but in chunks, it didn't give us.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to... Yeah, because the beginning was bullshit.
Everything was like, pay this, pay that, give us,
It didn't come with fucking...
and shit.
Yeah, it didn't come with a fucking... What's that mode called where you can see your friends playing?
Arcade.
No, arcade fun.
Yeah, they didn't have arcade mode.
No. Yeah, where you can join the lobby with your friends that you're about to play, and you can see them actually play. Like,
spectator mode.
A spectator mode. That's it. That's what it is. Yeah. Street Fighter 4 had that shit.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. All right, let's move on. Black Metal Gamer. Okay, what improvements would you like to see in Gears of War 6 with the open world hub areas as well as RPG mechanics? Adam, this one's for you, man.
What would I want to see in it?
Yeah, in Gears of War 6, yeah. Like, what would you want to see in terms of the open world and the RPG portions?
Nothing really, because I go in there just to chainsaw bitches. So I don't really care about all that other stuff. Like, I explored it. I'm like, all right, this is cool and stuff. But I mean, if they want to get more in depth, then just go. You have to go all RPG then. If you're gonna have the open world like that, and we're gonna have shops because it has shops and things like that. Then might as well go full blown like Division. Have different vendors, get gear, equip the gear, but then that expands the world far beyond what we see now. Right now it's like a handful of weapons, and you don't change your gear out. So they would have to do a complete revamp into a new direction. And it's like the open world is all right. Some parts of it reminds me of God of War, the latest one, where you're on the little canoe boat and how you can navigate around. There's some of that goes on. So
I don't want this to be open world.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't need it.
Give me the roadie run, man.
It'll be a different. The roadie run will be there forever for life. I hope that's in the RTS version too. That's what
last thing I want from my Gears game is to have more expansive content for you to explore, so I can have to wait for Adam to fucking explore every nook and cranny of this fucking map.
That's what you gotta do. When you go down the stairs, what do? Do you go straight or do you look under the stairs?
I go straight.
No, man. Always
look under the stairs.
Just always look under the stairs. There's always some goodies, ammo, health, weapons, all random shit, collectibles. Always.
That's not even a Gears rule. That's just a general video game.
Not for Carlos. Carlos fucking almost rage quit on me bitching about that. Yo, come over. Let's go this way. No, there's stuff over there.
It's not a Youngblood thing. It's. We were So here's the thing. We were streaming a game, right? And we're trying to get to the next like whatever the next part of the story. So I go directly to the checkpoint or like the objective part, like where it's like, okay, go here to talk to this guy so you can go to the next level. So I'm running, I'm going. It's like and I get there, and then I'm just chilling for like half an hour in the stream because Adam is looking at going to every freaking room and getting all the collectibles.
That's it. You could have came over with me because there was also conversations there. There was one guy talking about how he cheats on his girl. There was another woman that had a drinking problem. She's telling me her story. I'm telling you, there's all these people.
I remember you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, come over here so you can hear it. And this is stuff that people would want to see because they may not think that this is part of the game because that type of stuff was not in the other Gears games. It was entertaining stuff.
Man, people play Gears for the chainsawing and the boom shotting, man. They don't.
That's why we're showing them something different. That's all.
Yo, man, status quo with this game, man.
Oh, all right. Oh boy. Okay. Do you want Death Stranding to be a standalone game, or do you want it to be a franchise game with sequels?
I want it to be a good game.
Oh,
no! Hit them in the cojones. Just be good.
Yeah, Manny, you're moving your mouth, but we can't hear you.
To be honest, I don't really. I much rather have it just be a standalone game. Fuck the sequel bullshit. Just one and done. Next game, he does something else.
That would be interesting.
How many games do you know that really do that? That was just like, okay, that's just the only one. Play that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the idea of this game is to save the friggin' world, right? So obviously, you probably saved the world in some fashion in it. What's the sequel?
Yeah, you got to
World gets
resave
fucked
it.
up again.
Spoilers.
Yeah, you got to resave it.
You got to resave the world. You know.
You know what? I'm going to go along with you. Let's get a one and done game. Let's get like 5 different games from Kojima. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd much rather have 5 different games than the same game kind of reimagined each time.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but I don't need that. I'd much rather have them make new games.
Yeah.
Well, there's also what the game is.
Go ahead, Brett.
I said there's also the kind of game it's horror-ish exploration game. Like, the idea of the narrative is to pull back the veil of the world to slowly, let you know the story. Those kinds of narratives don't generally do super well with a follow-up. You can build into a follow-up pretty well, but there's always a slow point. If it's for the same reason that, like, kind of Stranger Things hit a little bit of a lull after the first season. Like, the second season was good, but it took a little while for them to kind of, like, swing in a new element. And I'm not spoiling it for any Stranger Things fans out there who haven't, for some reason, watched it, but once you kind of pull back the veil on something supernatural and have your big ta-da moment, I think it's done.
Yeah, you already lose the trick, right?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of this game is built around the intrigue of what is this world, who are these people, what are these systems, like what is going on, and when you find out what's going on, you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then so since so much of it is pulling the veil back on the world, and you would inevitably have to put a sequel in the same world, like I just don't think that world games are that interesting. I mean, fuck, I'll even criticize some of my favorite games. That's the reason Dark Souls 2 had a problem. It's like, okay, like how do I take the same thing and then just do it again? I have to put it in a new world. And then the third game was just fan service. They never really actually figured out a great answer to that. So I think, it'd be like a sequel to Senua. It just would be, I already know this stuff. You've already pulled the party trick. It's not as interesting the second time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, like another game that I don't think needs a sequel. Senua does not need a sequel for any reason, because it's just like it said what it needed to say, and I feel like there is a magic to just being a one and done.
That's exactly why BioShock 2 wasn't good.
That's a good point.
That didn't need a sequel.
Yep, that was one of the classic examples of games that didn't need a sequel.
And not to mention the original guy who did that game, the original BioShock, wasn't even working on it. So it's it's somebody trying to do him.
Yeah, the only way they I don't want to say they solved the problem, but their solution to the problem was to create a whole new world to unveil. Like, they didn't even have an answer to that. That shot is spent. So now we have to make a new world and kind of explain that world to you.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. G Megaforce 123. What's with all the Kojima hate? Seems like people have a hate boner for Kojima, even though they're massive Metal Gear Solid fans. What gives? Just for some context, so over the weekend, Hideo Kojima put up a tweet, which I'm going to read right now. He said, a Hideo Kojima game means a declaration of me doing concept, produce, original story, script setting, game design, casting, dealing, directing, difficulty, adjustments, promoting, visual design, editing, supervising the merch. People got mad at him. Like, oh, how come he's taking all the credit for everything? Why isn't he crediting other people? And Manny, you were kind of ranting about this before the show. So let's explain what's going on here. By the way, and before you go ahead.
The number one also is there was a translation error in that post that he made. Number one. Number two, in general, how many Japanese creators have you ever heard talk about any of their teams? Name one. They don't talk about their teams. The only people that you see is the guy at front. You see Hideki Kamiya. You see the guy who made Silent Hill. You only see those guys. You never hear about them talk about their teams. And that's an inherent thing between Japanese culture in general. Many people who work in these sorts of things don't want to be known. They want to remain anonymous. And they see their head guy as their vector. In other words, they know they're obviously within their own studio. They know that they're appreciated because obviously their boss tells them behind closed doors, but they don't look for that sort of sort of recognition in public. In other words, they're not looking for Kojima to go and say, go make a tweet about them and about them on his feed.
Is that entirely true though? Because I feel like I've heard Nintendo at least refer to we've worked very hard on this game.
Number one, no, they're only
Nintendo doesn't do that.
The Nintendo. Okay, other than Enuma, how many other people have you heard about Zelda? Having to do with the Zelda game, or even before that, before even Enuma was even known as the main director of the game, who was sitting at the top of that? It wasn't him. It was Miyamoto. Everybody thought Miyamoto was making those games, even though this guy was the director.
But Miyamoto never came out and said, "I do everything. I'm the star."
Number one,
he was the face of it. Yeah,
he was the face of it. And I think that's the way the way this stuff goes. Now the thing is, again, this quote is also a translation error on Kojima's part. It's not he does everything. It's more it was a different phrasing, and I forgot what the phrasing what it should have been. So it's it's a problem on his side. But he didn't fully. The thing about Japanese is it's not solid terms. It's not a solid term like I did everything. Like it's a little bit light. It's a lot lighter than that.
By the way, here's what's interesting, right? When you read the Japanese version of it, it's completely fucking different.
Read the Japanese one.
The November 8th release is approaching. This is my first new work in 4 years and my first independent work. Thanks to Sony, the cast, the artists, the musicians, all the faithful staff, and the fans who have supported the renewal above all. Thanks. That's night and day.
That's not the same.
Yeah.
That's also
Isn't
not
it?
the same tweet.
Oh,
That's
it's
not the
not.
same
No,
tweet.
that's one. That's
He
one
did
that-
okay.
afterwards.
Oh, so you think he may have done a retraction for the Western people?
No.
Yeah, because Manny, I agree with you. Like I'm thinking like Harada, he's always the guy in front of Tekken, right? Oh, Ono, he was always the guy in front of Street Fighter.
Yeah, like you never see those
That's the
guys.
face of the people.
Yeah,
that's
it
the face
doesn't.
of the game. It's like Cory Balrog with God of War 2 and Dad of War. Like they're
Yeah.
just the face of it because everyone just sees them as like the point of contact.
Yeah, but you
And
never
this is
play
different.
yourself.
Like he named the damn studio after himself. He put his freaking name on the front of it, saying, "Hey, it is a Hideo Kojima game. It's not a game made by Kojima Productions, which is even worse, I'd say." But he just is. I think it's the thing that people have the problem with is that his name is just everywhere, and he's not crediting his team and saying that this is like a team effort. Like we did this.
But it's obvious that it's a team effort. Does he really need to say it? It's obvious that he did.
No, it's not obvious. Obviously,
eye-centric. It's like it's a Hideo Kojima game made by Kojima Productions. His name is plastered everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
as it
he
should
wants
be.
to take credit for everything.
Well, dude,
And that's
even if
the
it's
problem. He wants to take credit for everything.
I don't think.
I don't think he
It comes
wants
off very
to.
pompous.
Also-
I don't get that feeling at all from that.
Also,
I get
in
it.
the,
Why
I
is
get
his name plastered everywhere?
Yeah, I
Like,
get it.
That's what
It's
that's
his
the thing that
company.
people
Of course,
do
his
when
name
they
would be plastered everywhere, bro.
No, it doesn't have to be that way.
hold on.
problem. It's
Tony,
like
there's
it's
a-
very eye-centric. It's like, oh, it's a Hideo Kojima game. By
again,
Kojima Productions.
Yeah,
again.
like it's his company. What else is he going to name it,
We
bro?
also are. We're
What do
also
you mean? There's
talking.
plenty of people that have their own company and don't name it after themselves.
So what's
but
wrong with that?
Is my mic
You know?
muted?
No, it's not, Brett. I've been hearing you.
Okay,
Yeah,
We're just
Listen.
ignoring you, Brett.
yeah.
I realize that you're doing a very British thing. There's a difference between other people attributing your name to something and you constantly flashing your own name around.
Okay, what do you mean by
depends
constantly
on where
flashing
it
your own
comes
name
from.
around?
It,
Because I'm not
Phil
seeing that.
Kaczynski is an asshole because he runs around with a fucking chainsaw gun being like, I'm Cliff Kaczynski, everybody check me, I'm Cliff Kaczynski. Like
Is he an
Miyamoto,
asshole?
I don't. How is that making him an asshole? That's what he's supposed to be
it
doing.
just
Shit like
comes
that.
across as douche.
Okay, I guess. I guess
Like, there's nothing
yeah.
intrinsically wrong with it, and I don't mean that like they're a bad person. It just
Yeah.
comes across as douche. Like
To
we
some
realize
people.
Miyamoto was in charge of things, but he never came out and was like, "I'm in charge of everything. I'm responsible for this and this and this and this and this." And even if it was a mistranslation, to say that you're involved even in every aspect and every facet of the video game does take ownership. It seems like a narcissistic quote.
Right, again,
the captain of the ship.
You also have to understand that Japanese also
Yeah.
doesn't work that way either. He officially didn't say I and all that sort of stuff. If you read, if the translation is flawed in that direction because of the way.
But that's what I'm saying. Even if it's flawed, and even if he didn't say I did all these things, even if it was something as simple as I was involved in all these things.
In the other,
I don't see what's wrong with that though.
What he's establishing is that what makes a Hideo Kojima game, and he's like even games that he's produced, he doesn't consider those Hideo Kojima games. It means that he's involved in the process of the game, and I think that's what he was trying to get across, as opposed to I do everything.
No, and I get that, and I still feel like that's a narcissistic comment.
Okay, I guess we can't agree on that one.
You never said on that thing on my woman.
You know, my woman. Yeah, I don't see a problem with what he said, but I understand why people would say that, but I don't see it that way. I'm like, okay, it's his fucking company, of course he's going to say that. But then
I feel like also people are just blowing this silliness out of proportion.
Well, of course, there's a lot of Kojima haters too out there.
I mean, because all of a sudden this silliness just starts flaring up.
It happens. It's not new. Tyler Perry gets this heat all the time.
People are hating on him. People hate on him.
He was on a talk show one time, and I think it was a Konami Brand. He was like, "So, what's with you naming your movies always Tyler Perry?" But he's like, "What? So Walt Disney? He was the only guy allowed to do it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess it was a Disney film. Yeah, exactly. So why can't I do it?"
Exactly. Nothing wrong with that.
So, but he doesn't say he does everything. It's his business. But he's got a lot of other.
The thing is that I don't think he was saying I do everything. I think he was just saying
that's how people took it. That's just
well, they can take it how they're going to take it.
What he does in the process of making these games. The thing is that I definitely think that he was just establishing that the stuff that he does and what portions of it are what makes it a Hideo Kojima game. I think huh?
Like what is the least?
Brett, say that again. The least what?
He brought subjects up individually, which meant his intention was to state a connection between himself and all of these facets, even in the most innocuous fashion. Even the most innocuous interpretation of that would be I oversaw or I was involved in all of these facets of the production. And even saying that this is how you can tell a Kojima game because I've touched every part of it, it still sounds like shameless self-promotion. It still sounds like unnecessary ego, and that's the reason that people are a little miffed. It just sounds bad.
Yeah, no, I get that. I still think there's...
But even in the good way, you guys keep saying, it's a mistranslation. Even if it were translated correctly, it still sounds bad.
Yeah, no, my take is, even if it sounds bad, it's his fucking company. He's allowed to do shit like that, so I don't see the problem.
He is allowed to do that, but he is beholden to the consumer. So when the consumer backlash and say let's
just be honest, it's been the gaming journal's complaint. The consumers haven't really cared. It's Kojima, really. Let's fucking go.
Oh no, dude, no. The Kojima hate is a grassroots thing. There's a lot of people who are not thrilled about this because it's big name dropping. It's changing the way that people are playing video games.
How? Japanese guys have been doing shit like that forever. Like I said, they don't credit their team. It's always been like that.
No. Because there's Kojima is one of the first big name video game celebrities, and he's putting recognizable characters in. He's changing the development style of video games. He's pushing it to more of a Hollywood-esque thing, and some people don't like the fact that he's...
What are you talking about? Cliffy B shit like that a decade before. What are you talking about?
We're talking about this even with Call of Duty. Remember?
Yeah, but Cliffy B, he did that shit way before Kojima did, the rock starification of the game developer.
I don't think anybody has done as much self-promotion as Kojima in the history of gaming. Not even Peter Molyneux. Because Peter Molyneux will talk about the great aspirations that he does, but he doesn't charge up the hill yelling, Kojima, 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 Kojima.
Yeah,
waving around a Kojima flag.
No,
the man is incredibly talented, and he has a brand to sell. I'm not dismissing that. But the fact that he self-promotes as much as he does, some people find distasteful and abrasive.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
No, I know, Brett. I've understood you. I just think it's being silly. Anyway, Carlos,
also, how about the thing about it, Brett? Also the thing about it is at one point his name was totally removed from a bunch of his games, from his game. To be honest, do you think that this might be a part of it?
Oh no,
in other words, getting his name because his name was removed from these things.
Yeah, but I also realized that a lot of his audience doesn't know, remember, or care about that shit, and that's his own business.
They don't remember or care about that shit? Are you nuts?
They don't remember or care how his name was.
Are you nuts? They don't remember or care about this thing. This was over the whole Konami. This was over the whole Konami thing, and you don't think people fucking don't remember that shit, buddy?
He didn't have his name removed from.
Yes, he
Konami.
did.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, they
Everybody
knew
They removed it from the game.
Metal Gear Solid.
Everybody knew that he was in charge. It's not like
bro, you're not understanding. The game, his name's little. The name of the game literally was Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid 5. They removed his name.
That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
You say just because somebody knows, like, we all know Miyazaki's in charge of Dark Souls. It's not Miyazaki's Dark Souls.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, the thing
Kojima is the only one who does that shit. He got told not to do it, and now
he didn't get told. They just took his name off.
No, they took his name off.
Yeah, they didn't tell him. Yeah.
But why did he do? I didn't know why was
because Konami was petty, man.
Wait. He said
Hideo Kojima game. They always said that.
No. I thought they just removed his name from the credits. His name was actually going to be on the front of the box.
Yeah,
his name has been on the front of the box for previous ones too.
Yeah, take that shit off. Take that shit off. Then no, fuck that. Yeah, he doesn't own Konami, so fuck it. No, take it off. I'd do it too. If I was Konami, I'd take that shit off.
So I think
you work for me. You work for me.
Yeah, even though it was Konami,
it was like people just totally forgot it. It's like it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Yeah, no. Even though Konami was the one that was promoting them front and center until they got mad at him. You know.
I'm pretty sure that people have forgotten by now. Like this is like
they forgot. Everybody's got bird memory about that.
Well, it is true. People do have bird memory.
People don't forget. People don't forget, buddy. Only the Kojima super fans care.
How many people are still mad at Rockstar about
people forget so badly that every single release from Konami gets some angry bullshit tweet after it on top of it.
Yeah, people haven't forgotten, man.
People haven't forgotten about that.
Yeah,
shit.
but that's every game.
I'm talking about people as like the general consensus. Yeah. Like people, as in everyone, they have mostly forgotten about it. Yes, there are the few people that have not.
The few people, again, you're making it like it's a few people. Every single time something happens, they're saying like "fuck this guy," "fuck this." So number one, I don't think anybody's ever forgotten about this. Dude. I do think that this whole situation is a portion of him reclaiming his name. Right?
Most people are mad because they think that Konami didn't let him make PT. They didn't even understand it in the first place, much less forget it.
Most people are mad about PT?
Yeah,
most people think that most people think
mad about PT, yes.
No, most people think the breakup between Konami and God damn it, I'm fucking
Kojima.
Most people think that the breakup was over PT and the fact that they wouldn't let him make PT. He wanted to make PT, he put out the thing. No, that's what most people think, though.
Yeah, that's what they think. Like, that's not the truth.
Most people don't even know why they're mad at Konami in the first place. And you're sitting here telling me that most people remember why they're mad? They didn't even remember at the time that it happened. They didn't know why they were mad. They just knew Kojima good, Konami bad, and they just went with it. And they blamed Konami for the lack of there ever being a PT, and that's where the bad blood comes from. Most people don't even remember any of this name bullshit. So no.
No, I definitely think people do remember that. How many of you guys in the audience remember that?
I don't.
With the Metal Gear Solid 5 stuff, how do you forget that shit? I was like public. That was super.
Yeah, the Game Awards.
We covered it on the show plenty of times, you know.
Yeah. Bird memory.
Come on, guys! Don't forget shit.
Anyway, but the thing is, I don't see a problem with
the guys in the chat said they remember.
Yeah, but you know, Glorious Warrior. You scared?
I think if you're a fan of something, you'll remember. If it's just a casual game that you play,
Brown situation.
Chris Brown.
Sketch, man, you crazy. Anyway, we gotta move on, man. We still got a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
good topic.
Yo, y'all crazy, man.
You guys are nuts in the chat right now, man. Glorious Word, thanks for the bits, man. But we're already done with this topic. You're crazy.
He's like, I want to get in this.
All right. Actually, this is Brian, of course.
As well. No. I do remember it, but I have one of those memories, and Tony knows why. Because in the chat, I'll just be like, just remembering stuff from like years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian's like a woman like that, man. He just remembers shit.
Well, no, It's not. It's not.
Elephant
Look,
man, come on.
Yeah, no, come on.
It's not that.
Last thing, Brendan.
It's
We
not
got
that
to
you
move
don't
on.
remember. It's that you just could like. It's a lot of it. Like, look, it's as simple, at least in my memory, as look. Konami came down and we were restricting Kojima's access to be able to do what he wanted to do. They were limiting his creativity and they were being a pain in his dick. And finally, it became too much, and there was a split between them. And then Konami decided to be a dick about it. Like, not everybody remembers the minute details. They just kind of remember the overarching thing.
I agree with you that Joe Blow doesn't remember that shit. I agree with you, but the hardcore guys like us, they remember. They remember.
Yeah, I mean, the audience that is going to be buying this game, they know about that stuff.
Do you think it's going to be the same Metal Gear audience that buys this game?
I think so.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of it.
And also, let's just be honest, a lot of curious people too. You know.
Yeah, curious people about the name Kojima.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he throws it around like candy at a fucking parade.
Yeah, and again, I don't see anything wrong with that, man. Do what you got to do, you know?
I mean, yeah.
Look, shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
But it offends other people.
Okay, well, too fucking bad, you know?
I have one sentence to say before we end this.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
I think everything a lot of it is overblown, like you guys are saying. But I do think that Kojima has one of the biggest egos in the gaming industry. And that's all I'll say.
All right, Ben.
I'm just saying it's interesting that you say that, even though you like. It's interesting that you say that, but you don't actually. Nobody actually knows him.
We know his.
He's just talking about public perception. They're talking about
it's this interesting this perception. Like, I mean.
It's the perception that he gives off, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see.
He tweets like this.
Yeah, exactly. He tweets like that. All the celebrities that he's
follow two of his Twitter accounts.
He's following them, going on different tours with different actors and stuff. I mean, he's into Hollywood.
Different actors? Who's this?
Yeah. There was a whole thing about it. Him and Keanu Reeves, and he was going on to movie sets for John Wick.
People behave because you're hanging out with actors. He wasn't. All right. Oh, he hangs out with Mads Mikkelsen, man. Fuck him. You know. All right, come on, guys. Let's move on. We still got a bunch of shit. Even though the next question is about Death Stranding. All right. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Will the Death Stranding protagonist Norman Reedus be as cool as Solid Snake? As much humongous effort as Kojima seems to be putting into this new protagonist, it seems there's no way he or anyone else could be a cool Solid Snake. Yeah, Norman Reedus ain't matching up to Solid Snake.
No,
Solid Snake is a legend, man. Get that toy up there, man.
No one even talks about Kiefer Sutherland. Shit. Just give him a pass, right?
There you go.
You can't mess with the legend right there, man.
I don't think he's trying to make him as cool as Solid Snake. You'll never be able to. You'll never be able to get it that way. So.
I think he's more like an everyman.
Yeah,
like he's more relatable than Solid Snake. You're having a power fantasy with Solid Snake. With Norman Reedus, you're like feel bad, like, oh shit, look at his toes.
Look at this loser.
Yeah, look, yo, man, his feet are bleeding.
Yeah, so I don't think we have anything more to add to that. No, he won't be as cool as Solid Snake.
No,
it's impossible.
He'll be as cool as Norman Reedus can be.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest Norman Reedus has ever been was Daryl from
Daryl?
And Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints, he was not cool.
Boondock Saints also, and both of those characters aren't as cool as Solid Snake. So I doubt this one will.
Yeah, so I don't think he will be.
Yeah. All right, GZDR. With GZR, man, we know we love you, man. You've been a fan of Throwdown forever. 2 questions, brother. Come on now. Thankfully, one of the questions you asked we already answered before. He wanted to know what we eat when we play games. We answered that years ago. You know. Now his first question, I feel like we have been asked this. He said rather than asking if you guys would pay $700 for the next gen console, what would it take for the what would the next gen consoles have to have in order to justify $700 price?
Nothing. It's just video games. Not worth it.
Well.
$700.
It's interesting to
argue with that, honestly.
Yeah, I can't argue with that either. That's too much fucking money to pay for a console.
That's too much. We like old shit. We'll just go in our back catalog and keep playing until they drop the price.
That's a CDI price back.
Man, you can go back and finish Gears 5.
I finished Gears 5, Gears 6, all the other ones.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I would say, I'd probably just wait around until. I mean, that's pretty much what I did with a 3DO.
Yeah, just wait.
Me and Adam didn't buy that shit right away. We waited for that thing to drop down.
And it definitely did, because nobody fucking knew what a 3DO was. So
exactly. What was it? We bought that shit in the $300 range, right?
Yeah.
And we got the old one, the Panasonic one.
Yeah, we got the Panasonic.
So do we all agree no console's worth that price?
No. For that money, just go get yourself a real fucking PC. That brings up that whole argument.
Oh yeah. Have fun getting a PC for $700, Adam. Try that. Yeah, you try. Go build a PC.
No, forget about building. Just go buy a Dell that has a decent video card. One of the best, and you can go and play some games.
Oh yeah, okay, you can buy that for.
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
The video card.
Yeah, that was sarcasm. No.
No.
You guys know
you can't.
The whole cryptocurrency thing didn't drive up the price of.
Well, that did
their market price, and they're still above average.
It did for sure, and I didn't believe Nvidia when they were saying they were going to crack down on it, because I'm like, you guys are making stupid money off of people processing crypto right now. You ain't gonna fix that shit. It's still going on.
Yeah, you can't build a PC gonna rival like
Bro, you're cutting out, bro.
Oh, you're cutting out, bro. Are you outside with a cricket?
Sorry. Yeah, I am. Most likely, the big game companies will be able to use their buying power to get a better price for video cards, to be able to consumer. The only reason to keep the console prices even relatively. I don't think you'll be able to build. I think this is the first generation where you're not going to be able to build an equivalent PC for the price of a game console. But I would probably lob that question over to Brian. Who's going to leave me hanging?
Well,
I don't know about prices these days because I've been out of the loop for like a year and a bit now. But I would think so. Like, if you just throw on like a couple hundred more, then I think you'll be fine.
I mean, for $7.99, you can buy an Alienware.
Yeah, Alienware suck.
Yeah, but it's still like
it doesn't matter if you think it sucks. It's just more. It's like you can buy a decent. It's a decent PC. It's not the greatest.
Not since Dell bought them.
And you'll be able to play the games.
You'll be able to play all the games.
It's a Dell.
Yeah, it's a Dell. Who gives a shit? Does it play fucking games? Yes.
PC
it's got a video card that supports
Nobody
the current
gives a
games
shit.
on the market. That's it.
Yeah.
Other PC players will make fun of you for playing on an
Well, whatever. They don't know what the fuck you got.
No one gives a shit. No one cares.
Nobody gives a shit what you got. Yeah, what are you pulling a Kojima? Are you like, I got a new graphic card.
PC,
you advertise your shit all over the place.
Do you not know gamers? Brian, if I came to you,
Brian.
Oh, definitely. No. Brian definitely doesn't give a shit. Get ready.
Brian, you don't go advertising what remember your cards of random people you playing online with, are you? Do you?
No, I'm too busy playing online.
Exactly.
No, that's what I'm saying, Brian. If I came to you, I'm like, hey, Brian, I just bought an Alienware PC. It's super dope.
As long as you like it, yeah, that's fine.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
Like, can you play games on it? Yep. Do you like it? Yep.
Yeah.
What the hell do you need me for? You know?
You're not going to
Brian's approval.
You're not going to come back and be like, you just dropped. I'm sorry. I've talked forums and I've played with people on games. And they're like, yeah, I'm running this. Yeah, I'm running this. Yeah, I'm running an Alienware. Pfft, then you just wasted $400.
I'm gonna be annoyed that you didn't like ask me like, hey, I'm thinking of buying an Alienware, and then I would have told you like maybe not the best choice, but hey, you know.
And then you're also thinking about the person's budget. So if they say, hey, listen, I have $700, I could go blow it on this one console, or maybe I can get a computer where I could do some other shit besides gaming, like homework and other work-related things, and maybe learn a trade. I could do a lot more. Should I just?
You can do a lot on a booty PC.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
I'll still pay for the console.
All right, that's you.
Yeah, Brett, don't worry, man. If you tell me you got a $700 PC, I'll make fun of you. So there you go.
Right. I'm sorry. I would have a hard time not throwing shade. You got a $700 game.
This guy come from the guy who's like, yeah, I built a PC for less than blah 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 blah.
That's why I know $700. You're like, I built a gaming PC.
That's the price of a graphics card, man.
Yeah, not even the high-end graphic card is more than $700.
Yeah, that is true.
Almost $1,000 to $1,200.
Yeah, you can buy a decent PC that'll play games pretty well for $700.
Yeah, you can.
And you can get way more out of it than you can get with a game console that doesn't come with any games and probably only will have one controller.
Well, I mean, the only issue with the whole Alienware thing is if you're buying a $700 Alienware, then you know that shit is overpriced by fucking $200.
Oh yeah,
so
it's probably even cheaper.
Like a $500 regular PC.
Damn. That's
and there's the conversation that I was always going to say is pop up. Thank you for proving my point.
All right, let's move on, man.
Pooped your point.
Yeah. GZDR, his next question. What advice do you have for dust management when it comes to keeping your gaming collection clean and presentable? Besides using a feather duster, do you have your games locked in a glass case? Do you keep the room at a certain temperature? Do you have wood floors as opposed to carpet, etc.? Interesting question.
Sell the shit, go digital. Fuck that. I got fed up with all of that. For real,
There's
all my shit was
something called
dirty.
digital dust.
They were all dirty and nasty and it didn't matter how many times I dusted and cleaned it. It looked so bad after a while. They had like a film, and I was like, "Fuck this shit."
That's because you cooked that greasy ass food, Nick.
See, he knows it's a damn lie because he knows I can't cook.
I know.
I never cooked.
Hey, Adam knows how to make a mean
oatmeal
ramen.
and salsa water. That was it.
Salsa water.
That's it.
You know, made burnt ass grilled cheese.
That's it. That's as far as I almost made a grilled cheese today. I was telling my wife, I'm like, "Where's the pan?"
Yo, the fucking firemen are coming
She's
after
probably
that
like, "Don't
shit.
touch." She's probably like, "Don't touch that." I'll do it.
My daughter said that the other day. I was like, "You want something to eat? I'll make you a grilled cheese." She's like, "Does mommy know you're touching the stove?" She said that shit. I was laughing.
You're crazy. So
I was like, "You're right. She doesn't. Let's do something else."
Yeah. So does anybody actually? Yeah. Does anybody else actually do anything special for the game collection?
I mean, I'd probably just keep mine in a shelf, and it just dust it off every so often. It doesn't get too it doesn't get too dusty where I'm, and then some of the ones I have in like a storage thing in my closet, and the ones that I'm not currently playing or want to display. I've never really had that much of an issue with dust problems on games, more on figures. That's the
tricky part.
Yeah, that's the big one.
That's the big one.
Consoles are usually just squares, you know.
Yeah, they're just square. You just take some compressed air and go and spray it all off, and you're good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Compressed air is a pretty good investment.
Consoles are actually a tough thing to, because you have to have them in a place that has airflow to run them.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to preserve lack of dust, you have to have a lack of air. So for like things like figs and games and things like that, like the themselves, I recently figured out the magic. If you don't know, are basically bookshelves that glass that kind of slides out the front and drops down on them, so that it maintains a dust-free environment. I'm a huge fan of curios. It's a lifestyle choice. I've tried to convert several people. Like go to a thrift store, go to a furniture reclaim place. You can glass cabinets and curios really cheap, way cheaper than you'd think. Like within get on fucking Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something like that. Really nice glass cabinets, because they're one of those things that people get rid of a lot. People never get rid of fucking bookshelves, though. Like, that's the thing that you're going to have a hard find shelves for fucking ever.
Well, yeah, because when you move, glass shelves will always fucking break.
Yeah.
Break, crack.
Yeah, but you can find, like, pristine ones for next to nothing. And that's where you keep all your figures. Fucking
I just use the Detolf from fucking
that's what I use.
Yeah.
IKEA.
From IKEA, yeah.
IKEA.
The Detolf.
It's a glass case.
It's a glass case. I'm not sure if you can see my background here, but yeah, that's that thing behind me.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like glass cases, man. For everything but consoles, you have to. But consoles, like they said, you don't have to worry about it. You keep your consoles in a different place than you keep your cartridges in your. It's going to cut down on the amount of dust you need to do, and then really all you have to do is have a can of sprayed air. Like, those consoles are probably not all going to get daily play, so you should clean the console before you sit down to play it to spray out any accumulated dust, and you're ready to. So
or maybe a nice, if you really like, especially on the PlayStation, the old school PlayStation 4, that thing, the shiny side gets kind of scratched up pretty quickly. So getting a nice, one of those dust cloths, those really, really soft ones that you use to clean monitors. Use that on there.
Oh yeah, I mean for something like that, I'd almost recommend. Just because dust alone will scratch that fucking surface.
Mm-hmm.
It's an impossible chore to even try. I personally wouldn't even try. I've skinned just about all my custom skins made online for like $12, and then you have a PlayStation that looks like nobody else's. If you want to keep it in pristine condition, I understand, but bro, that glossy finish is gonna get scratched. Ain't no way about it. Even with like a dusting cloth.
I've been able to keep mine pretty nice, but then again, my current consoles are a little bit dusty because I haven't played them in a bit.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it does. All right, moving on here. Dr. Bogoli. I think that may be a new name, so welcome, sir. All right, so his question is, I just replayed Chrono Trigger, and I think it's one of the best RPGs I have ever played. What would a AAA RPG look like if Square Enix would throw their whole development team at a 16-bit art style RPG? Interesting question.
Dragon Quest?
Yeah, there you go. I think you just answered it. I think that's pretty much the answer. Dragon Quest 11, or
but
8 before that.
It's not 16-bit though.
No, yeah, it's not, because he did say he goes to. Let me just read the whole thing. What would a 16-bit? What would a AAA RPG look like if Square Enix would throw their whole development team, which today probably mainly is used for graphics, at a 16-bit art style game? So I don't know.
A 16-bit art style game. I mean, to be honest, it's like
it would look like a lot of artists out of the.
Yeah, like maybe it would just like a cartoon or something, like a straight up animated
probably
thing.
It'd just be more, have more frames and stuff like that. I mean,
oh wait, Manny, Indivisible.
Yeah, it looked like that.
There you go. It looked like Indivisible. That's an art. That's an action. No, I mean it's like action / turn based. All hand animated. Not a AAA game though. Here's the thing. I'm kind of seeing this question as like oxymoronic in a way, because like 16-bit it's not AAA anymore. Like a lot of people could do that without a AAA budget. So I don't think you could actually, like, I know what he's trying to get at, but I don't think that could work exactly.
But it's funny because those old games aren't even AAA budget.
No, they're not, but they were AAA budget back then.
Yeah, they were considered considered big games, but really those games did not take a lot to.
No, they didn't.
That expensive to make.
But that's what I'm saying. The definition of AAA has changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can kind of answer this, but only halfway.
Go for it.
So if you're talking about taking all the AAA budget of 16-bit style, like you're not going to be able to. There's just not as much work there to be done.
Yeah.
So you're just never going to hit that. Now, if you're talking about just the budget of the game, Divinity is a pretty good example of this. Divinity has a fairly simple art style, but an incredibly robust engine that lets you pretty much do anything. So I imagine you would have a 16-bit game that would really just have, infinite branching storylines and the ability to interact with pretty much anything in the world and probably destructible environments. Like, it would just be a massive, robust engine with a very simple 16-bit veneer. Like, if you have to put the rest of that budget somewhere, it would be in the game, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a hard one to because again, you don't need that much money for a 16-bit game. Even if it's like hand drawn and everything, you don't need that much money.
No, but then you think about things that cost a lot of money. Like, okay, so for instance, what Mass Effect wanted to do, right? Like, they wanted to have branching storylines that ended in more than just 3 colors, I'm assuming, but they didn't. Like, you ran into budget problems and stuff like that, because who's going to write all that? Who's going to make all of that content that, only 5% of the population is all going to see? So if you're really talking about just dumping excess budget into a game, it'd probably be something like that. You'd probably have, 120 different endings.
Yeah, and then like make sure every voice actor is like a super Hollywood person,
Mm-hmm. yeah, and everything is voice acted, and you can interact with literally everything.
Everything. Yeah, that's true. And then you have posters plastered over Times Square and shit. There you go. Okay, I think we actually answered the question. All right, cool.
Hey, Brett.
Everything's narrated by Patrick Stewart.
Yes. And Morgan Freeman. They go back and forth.
No, Morgan Freeman narrates your everyday action. There's a cup on the counter that you pick up. You take a long, slow drink of water, and it cools the throat.
Brian, go ahead, man.
Hey, Brett. Guess what game's on Switch now?
What's that? Divinity! Yes, I've heard! I'm super excited.
Oh, that's interesting, Brian, because you know what I thought you were going to say? You know what game's on Switch? Cuphead.
Oh, that too.
You know what
Carlos
game is
knows
also on
what's
Switch? Contra Road Core.
Oh, by the way, man, IGN gave that a bad review. But you'll hear my thoughts on Contra Road Core later this week. All right, moving on. Yo, Big Mike, you good? You good, Big Mike?
Yo, Mike, you good?
All right, so his question is, what do you think of, let's call it a rumor. He says news. Rumor of Batman Court of Owls game from Rocksteady, or not Rocksteady, the studio that made Batman Origins. Anyway, so the rumor
Montreal studio,
WB Montreal. Yeah.
So the rumor is that WB Montreal is working on a Batman Court of Owls game, and he wants to know what our thoughts are on that.
It's Batman versus Ninja Turtles. It's from the cartoon that they do, from the movie.
Oh, again, we don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
It's got to be that because they showed the Turtles last year.
I literally only heard about this today.
Oh wow.
Greg Miller was talking about it. He did it kind of funny today, and I was like, "Is that for real?" Like, I don't even know.
There was supposedly all these silly hints about Corto.
Yeah, there's tweets from Scott Snyder and stuff, but whatever. There's nothing confirmed.
Yeah, I don't remember why.
Are we gonna check this up? Are we gonna check this up till we don't speculate on rumors?
Yeah, and then the other thing is, I mean, I can't really say that. Well, then again, I never played it, but I wasn't that interested in the other game.
Yeah, because isn't Origins the booty one?
Yeah, it was kind of the booty one.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it had problems. Like, definitely when I got it, it was broken when it launched, for sure.
Yeah.
There was shit that was broken. But out of the Arkham games, it is considered the worst.
Oh man!
I mean, to be
It
honest,
wasn't
it's
even
like
part of the collection.
Yeah.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't because Rocksteady didn't make it.
Yeah, but still, it's still part of the family.
It's still part of the story. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have
Well,
just.
Kyle, not really.
It's
No,
Origin.
It is.
It's called
Origins.
it's called Origins, and it has some of the same characters, but it doesn't really directly connect to any of the other games.
I thought it did.
Not really. Did they mention anything that in the previous
No, because
in the
it's a
Rocksteady games?
prequel.
Yeah,
It's a
but in the
prequel, yeah.
Rocksteady games, do they ever mention any of the events that happen to those things? Like, does he walk up to some guy? Hey, I know you. No, he doesn't. It's not. It's just. It's a connected. It's a disconnected sequel.
I think it's one of those things where like the Rocksteady games don't mention it, but it kind of references some of the Rocksteady games, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like an OVA, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Where are we? Glorious War in the house, man. All right, so his first question is: was the Epic Games boycott of Borderlands 3 a success? The game. We're gonna get more into it on the Thursday show. So basically, and the news came out today. Today's Monday that Borderlands 3 sold 5 million copies, or sold through whatever. Like 70% digital. The fastest selling game for 2K within a 5-day mark. And yeah, so that's what's going on there. That's the question Brian was asking, and as a matter of fact, Brian, I'm going to let you start this off. Do you think the boycott was a success? Because of the fact that this game did sell a lot.
We don't know. That's the problem. Like, there are no real numbers. Like, all we know is how much is sold in total and what the breakdown was in physical and digital. We don't know anything else. We don't know how many it sold on PC, how many sold on PS4. All we know is that it sold this many numbers, and here's the breakdown, and that's it. They're being very quiet about the exact numbers. They have numbers because they can say, hey, it sold like twice as much or 50% more on PC than Borderlands 2 did. So they have numbers, but they're not telling us. And usually when a company boasts about some numbers, they don't reveal the numbers. Chances are it didn't meet their expectations and the numbers are actually bad.
Or for people.
Microsoft. They don't release numbers. They just say, hey, this game was good. It's like, yeah, but what's the numbers though?
Yeah, if this was a boost to the Epic Games Store, don't you think they would have come out and been like, "This was a huge success for the Epic Store"?
Yeah. When you sent that note today, I went to look. I looked all over for concrete numbers, and I couldn't find it, except what they had stated.
We can deduce that no physical copies were sold for PC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That we know.
Yeah.
So, like, what was the percentage again?
70% of all titles were sold digitally. This is PS4, Xbox.
Were sold digitally?
Yes.
So, wow, they're down to a 30% physical sales rate.
Yeah, man.
Basically, 1.5 million maximum on PC. If you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, what people could do is if they have friends, and everybody does on Steam that were saying, yo, I'm not buying this shit, but then go on Epic or something and see if they did buy them. If you don't see them on Steam anymore, then there you go. They went and bought it. They said, fuck it.
See if they're about that life, right, Adam? See if they're about that life.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, see if they're really about it. If you're like, yo, where are you? I'm my grandma. I say, oh, you fucking bullshit.
I see you playing that
traitor. I see you. I just sent you a friend request. What do you mean? I don't have an Epic. Motherfucker, you just said it. Found your email address. You're in this shit.
I remember, and you could probably correct me on this one. I think it was for Modern Warfare 2. Some people were complaining about the lack of private servers, like, oh, they're not going to have it, right? And all the same dudes that were complaining about it day one on Steam, I believe it was, they were all playing the game. The same guys that were going to boycott the game, they were all on it.
People always complain about all kinds of shit. They complained also in the Modern Warfare when they had that the no Russian thing. It's like, I'm not playing this shit. They're taking it too far, and people still playing it. Oh, when you skip it, I know you can skip it. I love this game.
So yeah, I guess we'll have more on Thursday, but yeah, we don't know the numbers for PC specifically. The 5 billion, they're not lying about that. The game sold 5 million copies. We just don't know the distribution of those 5 million. I'm pretty sure we could say millions were sold on Xbox and PlayStation. PC, we don't know. We don't know.
I passed on it.
Interesting. Adam boycotted it.
Yeah, because me and Rich, we got some personal issues which we can't talk about, but there was some fucked up shit with them, and so I definitely boycotted them.
Yeah, go ahead.
All I'm gonna say, Tony, is I'm gonna ask the guys on the Borderlands 2 Steam page what they think about it.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. I already gotta say one thing I'm not happy about. They're already recommending people on consoles to put the game into resolution mode, otherwise it play well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
The Xbox. I've heard rumors that the Xbox version of the game is not so.
The Pro one also. The
the Pro one plays like crap, and apparently it has to do with. Let's see, hold on. It's because the 10p, the 1800p image quality plays at an evenly paced 30 frames per second, where performance mode sees the game routinely dipping second down to 40 when fighting in a vehicle. So yeah, it apparently is suffering pretty big lag issues, and you have to put it in a special mode for it to work right. That's fantastic.
Wow, modern gaming, people. Modern gaming.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Patch it later.
Patch it later.
You know what I was thinking about when this links to the last question about the dusting in the games? Like, that's the least of your worries. Half of those games probably don't even work anymore because you have to connect them online to get a damn patch.
Yeah,
and shit.
right.
So it's like, while you're worrying about dusting it and stuff, worry about plugging the shit in and finding out that the server's been turned off. You can't get the shit to work. So now it's just a fucking box and a disc.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you plug into old school Super Mario Brothers, that shit still works. Ain't that
shit
about
works
a bitch?
For days.
Yeah. Glorious War, we already talked about the Kojima thing, so we could skip that question. Fonzie in the house. All right, so he goes, I'm wondering what you all think about the French courts allowing Steam players to resell their games.
Ooh, that's hot.
Okay, go ahead, Adam, since I didn't even know about
that
this.
is fire right there, because that's the future. Because if they pass that where you can sell the Steam, then the sky's the limit. We could see that happen in consoles. So that's why it's a big deal right now if this actually gets passed over there. Because then we could see other markets. Because obviously they want to do it. They're like, oh, well, it's digitalism. And of course that means they can tax that shit too. And they can make some extra money on that. They're like, hey, they own it. If everything's going digital, you're messing up our retail markets, right? We're seeing all these stores closed and stuff like that. Well, how do we get a cut? We're losing money. That's the country using the tax. Well, then let's get it from this shit on the resale on that. So if it gets passed there and other countries jump in, then they can go in all other directions. They could bring that to an Xbox. They could bring that to a PlayStation. Like right now we see over in the UK, guys are fortunate. They can do full refunds on digital games. We don't have that privilege. On our PS4, when we go to accounts and game history purchases, we don't see that nice little button that says, hey, you want your full refund? But they have it. So if that's what's the spread, then that'd be awesome. But I think it's the same situation here. So we'll see what happens. But man, it's going to be a big one if this gets passed. That'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. But it's going in that direction. What do you expect? At least, I mean, for these companies, because digital is perfect for them, right? This cuts down the whole resale market, and they have that one-to-one connection with the customers. Everything's gravy. All right, well, the customers sort of get the short end of the stick because, one, you can't cancel. A lot of them, you can't cancel your pre-order. So once you do it, and let's say a week later, find out a review, preview with this game's going to be booty. You can't cancel this shit. If you do, you lose your money, right? At least here in the States. In UK, no, that's not the case. So the fact that we would have more rights to cancel that, or say we get the booty game and then I don't want it and then you want it. But then the thing is, who controls the pricing? That's where it gets complicated. Because then it's like, what if I want to sell it to you for $50? Or what? Well, there's another guy in a marketplace somewhere selling for $5. He don't give a shit. He just wants to get rid of the fucking. You know what I mean? So who controls the resale of it? Is it a one-on-one connection? Like if I just contact you directly, or are they going to create? Are they telling? Hey, you're going to have to create some kind of interface or marketplace where people can sell, just like a marketplace like they had in Diablo 3 for a little bit. So how does that whole thing work? But I'm telling you, this is going to be the future, because if we're going digital for everything, then you're going to have to give some kind of, because I hate when I hear these conversations, because it brought up a lot of conversations. People like, well, I always support developers. I don't buy used. But that's the whole, everything is built around that. We buy used cars. We buy used houses. People buy used clothes. It's just the way things are for everything. It's not just gaming. So you can't just say, oh, well, I'm not going to go buy them because I want to support. No, it's out there. This is just how things work. If you ever bought a used car, you can't say, shit, I wish I would have bought a Toyota and given them that $20,000-$30,000 direct. No, you don't think that way. You know what? This is the money I have, and this is what I can get. And it's the same shit with the game. You don't have the money for a full game, but you have enough money to get a used copy. You go with that.
Hold on, just quick, Adam. Big Mike says Xbox has the full refund as long as you don't play over 2 hours. Oh, there you
still have that? Because I remember it was just in beta for a while. They didn't launch it all the way.
Yeah, I don't know. Big Mike, you just answered that. That's yeah. All right, Brett, go ahead with your question.
Isn't this the more fundamental issue of whether or not we own the digital content that we buy? And isn't this a step in the right direction of us not just essentially leasing content on disc, having some claim to it as a product?
Yeah.
Since they're selling it, it has to be owned.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be leased, right?
Yeah.
So this is a huge step in the right direction of the eroding of rights as gamers that we've had for years and years, where we constantly talk about, we don't even own your game. You just kind of own the disc, but you don't own anything, not even the content on the disc. Like, this is a step in the opposite direction. So even more than including all the stuff that Adam's talking about, Adam, like, isn't this just a fundamental step in the right direction towards owning our own content the way it used to be?
Yeah, that key is ours to do whatever we want. Hell, forget about even selling it. What if I just want to give it to one of you guys? I'm done playing this fucking shit. You want to play this game? Yeah, let me give this to you. I can't even do that. I should have that right.
The sad thing is,
can't you do that on Steam?
No,
you can't give the game.
You can have friends. No, that's you buy it. You're buying it. I'm not giving you one of my games.
Oh, okay.
I'm buying you a game and then giving you the key. But we're saying, and if you can have the friends and family thing, if you're linked, but I'm still the owner of it. You're just playing it whenever I'm not playing it. I'm not giving it to you. You don't have ownership, which you should have that right. I don't see the issue. Besides that, it hurts them because they're like, no, fucking have your buddy go buy it.
Yeah, we on PlayStation, Manny, you can't sell a game that you download.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine if you could.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you could give it away.
Exactly. It was like, you don't play this game anymore. It was like, yo, you got the new Call of Duty? Yeah. What about your old one? You still play that one? Nah. All right. Can I have it? Sure. Why not?
And just transfer it.
That's it. Yeah. And then, because then I'm sure then it comes into, they're going to have to put kind of limitations, like how many times can you do it? I'm sure they'll do something like that if this does get passed. Like, all right, well, you could pass this key around 3 times or something.
I think that they should just unlock the doors and allow it to be a free. Essentially just let it go nuts. Equivalent of GameStop, enterprising people collecting game codes or buying games from people slightly higher price. But here's the thing, that's not necessarily a bad thing all by itself. Like, the GameStop turned out to be terrible, yes, but the idea of buying and selling used games, like, some people put time and effort into that. If they offer prices and good service, actually a pretty good deal, and it gives developers an incentive to make games that you want to keep and continue buying, either by making quality games or by additional.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a win-win.
I used to hate when EA would argue about the whole resale market, and we're like, yeah, it sucks. To hear that our current, let's say our older last year's edition of Madden is a whole row of them. Well, what do you expect? You spit out another sport game every year. Why is someone going to hoard all of these shits? They're going to sell it. If there's a Madden 20 coming out, they're going to get rid of 19. If they're going to get
they're worried about that now when it's like there's literally like over 25 years worth of that. Back from the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo era. Like, how many older game stores have you ever saw that they literally had a whole like wall of Madden games because everybody sold it to get the new one?
Yeah, because I remember it came up whenever people take snapshots of like, GameStop's used sale, used section, you would always see at the bottom rows of just EA Sport games, because that's what people were bringing back because they would get the new ones. What do you expect? So you get bitter about it, then don't do that. Then just offer updates. Like, hey, $20, you can update your 19, it turns into 20. There you go. Done. They don't do that shit. Looking at everybody for $60 every year for a fucking roster update.
Fuck them. All right, moving on. Okay, with Rockstar launching their own launcher, it seems like game developers are definitely going to replicate this, especially since Borderlands 3 was he says, unfortunately huge success on Epic's launcher. We don't know that. We just know 5 billion worldwide. We don't know if it's on Epic. So anyway, with that, what are your views about this and the inevitability of having to accept multiple launchers for multiple companies?
No table tennis, that's all I'm saying.
Where have you been? Like, Rockstar's had their own launcher. Like, if you bought GTA,
no, they deployed it recently. They did a whole refresh of it, and they gave away San Andreas free for people that didn't have it already. So it's like a relaunch of it.
Have San Andreas.
Well, there you go. I don't know. Tito and his friends. Who fucking knows? People just don't have it, and they're giving it away for free. And now they're spreading the word. Oh, we got this new launcher out, but there's no table tennis on it. So fucking.
You're like, done. Nobody, don't want it. What is this launcher on?
PC.
What's up, PC?
My PC?
Like, I don't think that. Again, as far as I know, like the PC. Well, the people that I talk to that game on PC, they are not really phased by having multiple launches. It's just a thing that they've come to deal with because, again, I don't know where you've been, but multiple launches have been a damn thing for quite some time now. I mean, there's Steam, good old
Origin,
games, Origin,
Uplay,
Battle.net.
Dog.
I mean, they've just been a thing for a good couple of years now, and people have just gotten used to it. It's like becoming like a meme now. Like, haha, which launcher do I need to launch now for this game? It's like, yeah, it's now becoming a joke. It is pretty much like a joke. Again, people have just come to terms with it because the market seems to want to destroy itself. So let it destroy itself. Like, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like, if people don't want to get along and be nice to each other, then let them all die. Fine. Like, okay, cool. I don't get my games, but I'm not the one that fucked over the system. Like, they fucked themselves over. So let them reap their own consequences. What's up?
Brian, it's not your fault. We all tried.
Oh, of course, it's not my fault. Like, again, I try and support the things I think make sense. This is why I buy games on GOG, because GOG is DRM free. It's nice guy. I would actively, if I had the chance to, I would buy every single game I own on Steam on GOG.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked. Because GOG is amazing. Like, one day I literally downloaded Unreal Tournament on one PC. I put it on a USB stick, put it on several other PCs, and then we just gamed online.
That's it. Yeah, no DRM, man.
Yeah.
Easy,
You own that shit. That's your game.
Yeah, multiple launchers, not a problem. Epic Store is just being dicks about it. That's all. So it's not a Steam Epic Store thing. It's just that Epic Store are just being dicks. Yeah, I think PC guys have just come to terms with it. I'm still waiting for Square to launch their own launcher because I think that they will have one soon enough once they get enough Final Fantasy games. I'm thinking that they may do it with Final Fantasy VII Remake because I think that's a good chance to like get people on there if they can.
Well, one of them died. One died last week.
11.
Discord. Remember Discord's game server? That's done. They're not doing it with the games anymore.
Well, that's what happens. Like, you don't buy exclusives, you just get put to the wayside. Sucks. Like, even GOG was like a point where it was actually about to shut down.
Oh yeah, they were doing layoffs.
Enough traffic.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the whole like GOG 2.0 thing, like, I'm not in there yet, but I've heard really good things about it. It's basically it basically is Steam for your launchers. It gets all of your launchers in one place. Like just launch the game through the launcher.
I was just about to say, I eventually feel like this whole thing's going to be a sick, because if you get a whole bunch of launchers, eventually you're going to get a sort of program that compiles all of these launchers and then auto-launches games in the library, and then that thing's going to have a friends list, and it's going to dominate the PC community, and then people are going to start advertising on it, and it's going to start giving premium preferential treatment, and then the whole fucking cycle is going to start over. Just going to make another Steam.
Yeah. This is why I say that, like, if these companies just want to burn themselves out, then let them burn. Like, seriously, like, if you want to create another launcher simply because you want more money, then you deserve to burn. That's why I will support GOG until the day that GOG dies, because I'm pretty sure that Steam will just keep on kicking through. Then yeah, I will support GOG. And plus, it's DRM free, so hence I get the games anyway, so I don't even care. I win.
You're like,
I win.
Yeah. Uplay want to do the again. Tony, like, you remember when we found out that Uplay was a thing? It's like Uplay is just trash, and then Origin was a thing since Battlefield 4, I think, or 3 or 4.
I remember when they pulled all their sport games off of Steam.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell's going on here? And I was like, oh, they got their own shit going. I was like, oh.
It's just been a thing, and I think that most of the major publishers will have their own thing at some point, and it'll be a thing for maybe 5 years, unless they get Chinese money like Epic, and then after that they'll just burn out.
But don't you hate just sitting there being like, well, I guess there goes my second string of friends, because of online friends at least, because like there's the group of people that you're gonna jump with, and there's that other group of people that it's just gonna be too much effort to get all the information and the other information and make track of them.
I'm at a point now where a friend just come and go. You know, I'm at the age where the friends I have now aren't the friends I had like 10 years ago. So hence I've come used to the fact that, hey, friends will come and go, play with whoever you want. Like, I used to have a clan in MAG, man. That was freaking amazing. We used to have like enough for like, I think like 16 people, which was like a quarter of the game room, and we just dominate any map that we were on. We used to like run through maps just for the fun of it. We all had headsets. We were coordinating. We had times that we were on and all sorts. You know, like everyone would just join in. Like they'd have their friends that join in as well, and then sometimes we even have like half of the team was just like people that we knew. And then we say, hey, we're in this clan. Okay, cool. Let's help out here. Let's help out there. Like, oh yeah, these guys need some help. Let's just take like the whole squad and help them out. You know, we used to coordinate like mad, and it used to be amazing. And then bit by bit, people stopped playing. People made alt accounts. They didn't tell each other. And then eventually MAG shut down. And then that was it. No more MAG.
That's how you become a game hermit. This is somehow why I'm finding myself playing Black Desert, an MMO, alone. And that's not as sad as it sounds, because I just want to play. Like, it's cool that there are other players in the world. It's cool that I can jump people and get jumped, but fuck off, I don't want to party with you.
I know the feeling, Brett.
Yeah. All right. I think we have the last question. And it's our boy, Manny, our boy, Johnny the Truth Teller.
What set him off? What set him off?
All right. By the way, Brian, I love the fact that you were just talking about MAG, considering the question he just threw at us. Do you think Sony will ever make a good multiplayer game, or will they always just make one and done, sit by yourself, boring movie games? Yeah, MAG the thing. Go ahead.
Sony had really good multiplayer games. I mean, we can sit here and talk about Gears of War all day, but we all know that SOCOM is where it was.
I knew you were going to say that.
At one point, SOCOM had more players than Xbox Live had members.
What?
Like, SOCOM was big back in like PS2 days. It was phenomenal. And then Sony interfered and did some EA nonsense. And then, as we know, it's gone. To answer your question, I don't think that Sony ever will, because they just make money. Like, with the amount of money that Spider-Man made, God of War made, Horizon Zero Dawn made, it won't. Like, they just won't now. Like, this is how companies work. We've seen time and time again. They put out stuff. If that stuff makes money, they make more of it.
Yeah.
And so I get Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I don't think that Last of Us 2 should even exist. So to me, the story ends there, and it's fine.
Yeah,
Yet made more money. They had a war. Creative story should have ended at God of War 3, but no, they wanted to make more money, so they did. Like, this is what happens. Stuff that makes money,
But he's got a
more of
beard
it, and that's it.
Hey, listen, Beard Man and Son. By the way, here's my question. We're only counting like purely more online games because dudes are still playing and praising The Last of Us 2 multiplayer. That trash ass shit. People are still playing it. Uncharted 4 is still getting play. I'm like, even though it's not good either, but it's still getting play. So we're not counting those, right? Like multiplayer that's tacked on. We're not counting those. Just to clarify.
Tony's need to play some multiplayer. So
yeah.
Hold on. I want to try for a mic drop. Tony, you played DC online, right?
Oh yes, I did on like 3 different consoles. Actually, yes.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so they made a game that's an MMO that Tony enjoyed.
DC Universe Online.
Yeah, I'm just saying a company that can make an MMO that Tony enjoys at least has the ability to make a good one.
Yeah, I think
Tony hates MMOs.
I don't really hate MMOs. I just don't care for them, you know. But I cared about DC Universe Online because it's got superheroes. As a matter of fact, Brett, the first MMO I ever played was this game called City of Heroes. That was kind of cool.
Dude, City of Heroes, like, dude, I want another DC Universe Online.
Yeah, I want.
You can play that on Switch,
they got that on Switch. Even though I do not recommend playing that shit on Switch, the online is fucking horrible.
Yeah, well, and those games don't age well. Like after a while, they have a shelf life. After about 5 years, they have hardcore veterans that have done everything, and a barren wasteland of nobody else. So, but after 5 years, you should have made your money back.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on, make a sequel. Like I don't know why they don't do that more.
So I guess we're trying to say, I guess we're trying to say Sony can make like a big dedicated like online game. They just choose not to. They've
shown the ability, not all at once in every game, but they've shown each facet of what they would need to build one. They just haven't ever put it all together. So they could probably pull it off, but it would be a huge undertaking and it'd be risky. And they probably need multiple tries. I don't think if they're like, hey, they're making a big Sony game, we should all get fucking excited.
Hold on, wasn't DC Universe part of like Sony's online division, which they eventually closed? But for a while, they did have a bunch of like online games. So
yeah, so is EVE Online? And
they did though. Yeah.
Sony?
But the point is they don't currently have it. You know that's the thing, and I think Brian's right. It's like they're focusing on the big AAA single player games. But again, as we've proven right now, they have the ability. They have all the pieces in place to make an MMO, or a big online experience. They just don't, because they have to focus on other shit.
I think that shit's gonna roll back around and bite them in the ass. I think I have watched enough, and God, this makes me feel old. Young players play like Fortnite and whatnot to realize that it's not so much the game as a digital lobby and meeting room, so that people can hang out together without having to actually go visit each other.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't most people play Fortnite on PS4?
Yeah, but like, okay, have you ever watched a group play Fortnite on PS4?
No, because I don't fuck with Fortnite.
Exactly. Yeah. Most of the time, it's a younger crowd, and
it is. Yeah.
The reason that is because the younger crowd has this kind of dead time. They don't have the ability to drive somewhere, or they don't have the funds to go somewhere. Like right between 15 and 19, you have a lot of spare time, much more than you do when you're an adult, right? And so you end up like just like when we were all 16 to 19, like you go and you hang out with your friends, but nowadays you do it digitally. And so you just kind of all arbitrarily pick a game and jump in voice chat, and that's your way. Like the way at least I don't know about you, the way I used to hang out when I was 16, I used to hang out in a basement and play Halo.
Whatever happened to couch co-op?
That's what this is. This is the new version of that. You just all join in a voice lobby and play the same game. It's not the same experience, but it is what sits in that slot now. There's nothing that replicates that experience.
Xbox Live was created because they wanted to do the couch co-op. They were like, how can we bring that back? Like, let's make a system. Let's do it.
I don't honestly know that those days are ever coming back. I think Switch is trying, but it's going to be different. Like, and it's just one of those, like, saying that your teenage years are never coming back. It's just not going to necessarily happen again. But my point is the market is that there are a lot of people that just kind of jump in and play a game in order to digitally hang out with each other. And so I think the idea of MMOs are going to roll back around because you're essentially giving people a digital playground to fuck around in. That's why people keep coming back to Fortnite, because it's low interest, low impact. Like when people play Fortnite, the general point is they're either doing it competitively, or the focus isn't on the game; it's on the conversation, or they're doing something else in the background and they're watching a YouTube video as well. Like it's half paying attention to entertainment, and it's something that people do with friends. So I see a huge social aspect of video games kind of re-emerging, and they're trying to do couch co-op. I pray that it happens. I just haven't seen as much of it as I'd like.
Yeah, Big Mike says the new Battletoads has a couch co-op, but we got to see about that new Battletoads, though. You know what I'm saying? That's still up in the air. And Glorious
Did Workman, did he get that tattoo?
He got the tattoo, yeah.
Oh, shit. Glorious War says The Last of Us Part 2 is going to have bomb-ass multiplayer, and GT Sport is Sony's biggest multiplayer game. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
So again, we keep saying, Sony has pieces in place. They just haven't put it all together yet, you know. But maybe they will. Who knows? Yeah, I think that's it, people. So, Manny, do we need to announce anything?
No.
Just ask
Oh, go ahead,
question.
Brian. Yeah.
And this mostly pertains to everyone else that doesn't think that Epic Game Store is all that bad. I had this idea, or this weird thought the other day. What if Death Stranding comes to PC, but is an Epic Game Store exclusive?
Then I'll play it on the Epic. Then I'll play the Epic Game Store version of it. That's it. I go where the game is, bro.
It's not like, how would you feel? As in, like, would you buy it? I mean, like, how would you feel in, like? Do you think that people will like break down, or do you think that all the haters will like hate it more, or something? Like, how do you think that the whole discussion will be about it, the game? Then would people like it less? Like,
no, people will hate it for sure. Anything that's on the Epic Game Store as exclusive gets insane amounts of hate. So that the hate is going to come.
That, right?
Yeah, any game, it doesn't matter what it is. I think this game called Oogles or something. I forgot what the fuck it is. It starts with 2 O's. Weird name. Every game, no matter how minor it is, will get hate. And a game as high profile as Death Stranding will get insane amounts of hate. Now, whether that would hurt its sales, that's a question I can't answer. But the hate will be there. The game's getting hate already just by being a PS4 exclusive. And, you know, people like PS4, but they hate the Epic Game Store. So the hate would be insane, you know. But speaking for myself, I'll get that shit on the Epic Game Store day one, you know.
Okay, no, I just had like that weird thought because I'm sure that Death Stranding's coming to PC. And then I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll buy it on PC anyway. And I was thinking, well, what if it comes to Epic Game Store? Would I still buy it then? I'm like, it's a good question, Brian.
You're having an existential crisis trying to figure that one out, man.
How far would you go?
That's a good question, Brian. Talking about it in the third person, man. Who are you, Kojima?
Kojima says.
Yeah. All right, Manny. Do we need to announce anything?
No, I mean, other than the fact we were in Seattle for the launch of Contra Road Corps, you covering it, and I actually being part of the the interview part of it.
Well, we'll say that for the Thursday show. Again, this is a show for the people, you know. But I do have an announcement to make.
What you doing?
Okay, for whoever, and I'm talking to you guys right here in the panel too. For whoever one of you guys or that's available tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a live stream reaction of Sony's State of Play. They're going to have The Last of Us 2 and a bunch of other shit. So for the fans, be on the lookout for that. And for you guys on the panel, whoever could join us, please join us. It'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds like good.
Well, if I'm back home.
We may rope in Mr. Robert Workman, who we are hanging out with this weekend, you know.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me?
You know, should be fun, man. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. And then, Thursday, we're going to have another show for you. Manny and I will tell you more about our Seattle experience. Tell you about Road Corps, because I would have played more hours into it. I don't think I could talk about the game publicly yet, so I got to chill.
No, I mean, to be honest, it's coming out tomorrow, dude.
Wait, I just saw IGN talking shit.
Out.
I'm just going to say this quick little review. If you're looking for a classic Contra experience, you're going to hate this game. It is not old school Contra. But if you just want a really over-the-top fun twin-stick shooter, you're going to like the game. So it depends on how you're coming at it from. Because when I put, I'm like, this shit is not Contra. But it's kind of fun.
How much is it?
$40.
Yeah, $40, yeah.
$39.99.
Yeah, am I covering Xbox Insights coming out? Hold on. There's going to be an Inside Xbox tomorrow? Oh, Microsoft, you fucked up.
This is they got a big reveal though.
You fucked up, Microsoft.
Man, this is gonna be big.
They got a big reveal. We're making we're making another streaming service.
Also, I have another. I also have another announcement to make. I gotta put myself on the camera here. I finally got it, baby. My Sega Genesis Mini. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. No,
you're not reviewing that.
I might be. I gotta ask. I may do it.
Man, I still haven't gotten mine.
Oh, did you even order it?
No.
You motherfucker.
I'll leave
mine. Somebody to send it to him.
You know, say the play is at 4 p.m. Xbox is at 6. Do we really care about the Xbox One? Let's just be honest.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it, but I'm not. I'm just being real.
I'm like, yo, I want to see what you got, Xbox. Come on, give me, show me.
Why we gonna do?
Well, remember, you gotta understand something, Tony. Remember, nobody wants a monopoly.
Yeah.
Always remember that.
Yeah, but, not everybody wants to.
Adam is 100% right. So Adam should stream the Xbox.
That's right, Adam. There you go.
I won't be there.
Oh well. That's it.
Well, but let him put his money with his mouth.
I got kids. I got kids, man. I'm gonna be doing gymnastics and shit. I got to get around by then.
What happened, Brett? All right, whatever. Anyway, here's the schedule here for Throwdown Your Questions. So, step one, how to ask this question. Step one, go join our Discord where it's always lively, man. Step 2 on Discord, go to Throwdown Your Questions section. And step 3, submit them questions, man, and keep them to 2 video game questions. I'm talking to you, GZDR. 2 questions, man. You should know better, man. You've been around forever. Who's breathing like that? Oh, damn, it's crazy, man. All right, we're done. Thank you for watching and listening. Leave us a question in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. And we're back on Sundays, people. Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and the Facebooks at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later. Guess what? Contra Road Car comes out tomorrow or tonight if you pre-ordered it. But yeah, game of worked on. We did some stuff with it. Good stuff. Oh, by the way, it was David Giltington who gave the bad review to Contra.
Oh, yeah, our fellow ARG podcast guy should be interesting. Fellow ARG.
Oh, it wasn't Giltington. It was no. What's his face?
Don't throw David's name in vain, man.
Not Giltington. It was Jagano.
Oh, David Jagano. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
This is
Brett Murdoch.
I'm Brett Murdoch, and thank you.
Oh, you have to say it again. You cut off at the crucial point. You're Brett Murdoch.
Thank you for joining Brett Murdoch's Throwdown podcast.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, God, beautiful. Adam Vale.
There's no such thing as a blue apple. Fuck
that. Oh, shit. And Mr. Brian Manjoma.
It's time for me to click my heels three times and head back to Africa.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Later.
That's a good skit.
I love it, man. You're corny. All right, man. Later.